Hello, welcome everyone. I'm Rachel Redmond, and today I'm interviewing my dear friend and colleague Ruti Wagaki. And there's Ruti, and we're just going to dive right in, and we hope you enjoy this. Really, we're just going to have a conversation, and I'm looking forward to this.
So, I've been doing body work for the last 25 years. I got into it because of a dance injury when I was a dance major in college, had a hip injury, and just really struggled to heal from that and ended up going to bodywork school. And after I finished school, I ended up doing a lot of structural integration based on the Rolf method, not myofascial work, and also got introduced to visceral manipulation, which is working with the organs. It's the work of Jean-Pierre Barral. He's a French osteopath. And so I've been studying that for 21 years and practicing visceral manipulation, working on the organs, and then also craniosacral therapy. That's the other thing that I do. When the pandemic hit, of course, I had to figure out what to do with my practice because I did shut it down overnight at the end of March. That same day, our governor gave an order, stay-at-home order. So my kind of business had to shut down. I couldn't do any more hands-on work with people. So I had to get creative. And this remote healing work was born out of really a necessity. One of my clients that at first people asked me if I could do it, and I said, no, I don't do that. I work with the body, hands-on only. That's what I do, right? Anatomy, physiology, bodies. But then one of my clients had a surgery and a cancer tumor and was in a lot of pain. So I said, well, let's try it. And so he lay in his bed. We did it, through Zoom. And I worked through the computer and just did the session that way. Never knew I could do it this way, but for some reason it worked. And at the end of the session, I thought he would just be relaxed, feel like more energy. But it was really what surprised, I think, both of us, especially me, was that there's like total relief from the pain, the excruciating pain of the surgery. So, wow, all of a sudden I realized like I could actually help people get out of pain using this modality, right? And with COVID, yeah, people are still there's a lot of people that can't go get this kind of help in person. And I've decided to continue doing remote sessions only, just because I don't feel like it's absolutely safe right now for me to work on people in person. We all have to make our own choices, but so that's how this was born.
Wow, that's such an amazing story that I just love how at first you're like, no, that's not, I don't do that. I do hands-on bodies. And but
Yeah.
then, because of the situation, we have to get creative. So I think people will be really interested to know a little bit more, like just on the technical aspect of how you work and like how do you work on another person's body through Zoom? Can you take us through what that looks like, how they're set up?
Sure. I mean, I think there's a lot of skepticism. Like the clients that I've worked with hands-on, right? I mean, at first when I told some people about this, they're like, what? But each person that's tried it has had just such phenomenal results that I think, people just started opening up to it. So, listen, we all have our bodies are built to heal, right? I mean, each of our bodies is beautifully designed to heal itself. And so, sometimes the body gets stuck. It can't heal itself, or it's healed itself in a way that's very compensatory, right? So an injury happens or a trauma happens, and our body system figures out how to adjust based on what's happened, right? But after many years of living, this becomes inefficient, right? And this can happen even in children, right? I've worked on babies that were just born, and there's things that happen with birth trauma or different things that can happen even in infancy, even digestive issues that I've worked on babies with or little children. And so what happens when someone is stuck, right, in their compensatory ways is that they essentially sometimes need help, right? So that's why people go get body work or chiropractic or go see the doctor, or come see, get acupuncture, come see you for Ayurvedic
Mhm.
stuff, right? Um, and so essentially, when I'm working with someone, we do a Zoom session, they lay on their bed and I'm working through the camera. Um, my energy field, working with their energy field, can basically interrupt a pattern, right, that they're stuck in,
Mhm.
and offer just a new possibility for change, right? The body might say, oh, I can figure out a different energy pattern. um, and energy affects the emotions, right? And the emotions affect energy, and and same with the physical body, right? Goes back and forth. So I never thought that I did energy work, but something's happening in these sessions. But the most important piece is that I can actually see into the body and see what's happening. That's always been true. I've known this for probably half of my career. It took me a long time to realize that I could do that, and it was something, you know, I discovered along the way that I could do. So when I'm looking through the camera, I can actually see what's happening in the body. And because of all of my knowledge of anatomy and physiology, it helps me to understand what's happening. And so I can just help the body facilitate its own healing abilities with guidance, right? And a way to get unstuck from patterns.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so interesting. And I'm sure, the people listening to this interview, I bet like half of them will be like, oh, yeah, that makes total sense. I know that, energy is not limited to just our in person interaction. And for some people, it'll be an easy, thing to understand. And then I'm sure there will be other people watching this and being like, that sounds so out of this world. How is that possible? And I think it's one of those things that you probably just have to try it out and experience it for yourself and see, evaluate your own experience about it. Because, I mean, this happens often, even with acupuncture, which is, I am working, I was working with people one on one, hands on, but I'd have a lot of people that would come and be like, I'm really skeptical. I don't believe in acupuncture. And I'm like, that's okay. Like, you don't have to believe in it. It's not a belief system. It's just how energy works.
Right. I mean, the work speaks for itself. I mean,
Hmm.
like I said, I've been completely surprised by this. I never knew I could do this. I never knew it would work. I never knew it would work on physical issues. So, like, I work a lot with head injuries, right? A lot of other things too, like digestive issues, and I work a lot with the lungs, and but head injuries are one of the biggest things I work with, using the cranial work. And I have had several of my head injury people that I work with do these remote sessions, and I think they were the most skeptical, right? Because it's like, well, how could this work? How could this work on my cranial, sacral, whatever, on my, you know, and honestly, they are the ones that are actually experiencing, I think, the most benefit.
Wow.
And they're the most sold on this, because we'll finish this a session and the shape of their head and their face completely changes
Hmm.
from doing the work. And it's always shocking to me, like, wow, this actually works,
Hmm.
and to see the visual changes in their cranium. I mean, I've had people that have hit their head really severely, and their lives are completely changing just in the course of a few months from doing this work.
Wow.
So, stuck energy is stuck energy, and it prevents us from, it's one thing to survive a trauma, it's another to thrive, right? And you can't
Right.
thrive if there's stuck energy. So we free it up, and then, yeah, people's lives are changing, and that's what I love.